The Saints and Eagles draft trade has left the NFL world baffled, with some calling it one of the most lopsided trades seen in a long time. Here's what happened. First up, the Eagles and Saints exchanged draft picks. According to various sources, the Eagles and Saints have exchanged draft picks. The Saints will have the 16th and 19th overall selections in the 2022 NFL Draft, as well as pick number 194 in the 6th round. In exchange, the Eagles received the Saints' number 18 overall selection, as well as their number 101 3rd-round pick and number 237 7th-round pick this year. The Eagles also received future picks in the form of the Saints' 1st-round pick in 2023 and the 2nd-round pick in 2024. As a result, while the Saints will have an additional 1st-round pick this year, they will not have one next year, and next year's pick might be rather high based on how the Saints are expected to do this season, and they'll be giving up a future 2nd and 3rd rounder. Next, Joe Banner and Albert Breer weigh in. One of the most lopsided transactions we've seen in a long time, said Joe Banner, a former Eagles and Browns executive, on Twitter. According to him, the selections 1, 2, and 3 that the Saints gave up for 16 were enough for them to trade for practically any NFL elite player other than a quarterback and still have picks left over. Instead, they received a mid-1st-round pick. Sports Illustrated Albert Breer broke through the deal from the Saints' perspective. He believes that New Orleans now has 3 selections within the top 50, which should position them up to take care of their cap issue in the next several years by bringing in younger, cheaper players. Given the makeup of the class, those 3 choices, 16, 19, 49, are in a terrific position, he said in a tweet. There's been some speculation that the Saints could package their 2 1st-round picks in order to move up and take a quarterback earlier than they currently scheduled to pick. But it remains to be seen whether this was a salary cap relief move or a chess piece in service of even more wheeling and dealing. Now, a trade very unlike the Saints. The Saints look to be entering a new era in terms of roster construction. In an offseason in which they have been unusually quiet in free agency, they completed a transaction which was odd to many, with the Eagles on Monday, in which both clubs swapped just draft selections. At first glance, the trade looks to be lopsided in favor of the Eagles. The Saints received a 2022 1st-round pick, number 16, a 2022 1st-round pick, number 19, and a 2022 6th-round pick, number 194. Meanwhile, the Eagles received a 2022 1st-round pick, number 18, a 2022 3rd-round pick, number 101, a 2022 7th-round pick, number 237, a 2023 1st-round pick, and a 2024 2nd-round pick. The Eagles profit from the move because it provides them greater flexibility in the future. If 3 1st-round picks perform well, their wages could rapidly become cumbersome. The trade represents a philosophical shift for the Saints, which aligns with their history of trading up. Next, Saints draft trade history. During Sean Payton's stint as head coach, New Orleans moved up in the draft 20 times. In 2018, they traded 2 1st-round picks to move up for the UTSA defense lineman Marcus Davenport, who was instantly blasted as a reach. The Saints considered trading up in 2021, but were unable to find a partner at number 28. This year, they appear to be recognizing the nomadic nature of transactions. Packaging 16 and 19 to move up might be a possibility for them, or they could choose 2 guys that they like in fast succession. So what's the Saints' plan? It's unclear what the Saints' plan is at this point. With 16 and 19, the Saints have a few options. The automatic response is that they want to move up again, but they have too many needs to package picks and trades up for the best available player, with offensive linemen and wide receiver being key needs, not to mention the Saints' shaky quarterback position. The Saints may see this deal as an opportunity to rebuild and avoid having to wait until 2023 draft to address these additional issues. Expect them to make a priority choice at number 16, maybe a highly hyped wide receiver, while choosing for their future at number 19. Perhaps the Saints have fallen in love with a quarterback. One of the most significant talent holes on the squad is at wide receiver. Michael Thomas, who is returning from an ankle injury, is the only one that is capable of making defenses nervous. The Saints now have 3 picks in the top 50, and they have been largely successful in the draft recently. Last year, Paulson Adebo was a solid cover corner for them, while Peyton Turner performed admirably during his limited stint on the field. Pete Werner, too, appeared to be in good shape. Davenport, Eric McCoy, and CJ Garner-Johnson have all come out of recent seasons. Ryan Ramczyk, Marshall Lattimore, Marcus Williams, Alvin Kamara, and Trey Hendrickson were all selected in the 2017 NFL Draft. However, New Orleans' back-end choices haven't produced many gems in the rough. They select quite well at the top, but in later rounds, Mickey Loomis and Jeff Ireland seldom identify breakout stars. In fact, undrafted free agents perform better for them. It's a perplexing decision, but it demonstrates where the Saints believe they are, not in a position to rebuild, but yet with a window closing, that means they have to be concerned about the future. If things don't go well this year under the new coach Dennis Allen, they won't have much leeway to change the roster soon. Loomis seems to believe that the Saints are just a few things away from contending, and that 2021 was more of a speed bump than the new normal. Now, in other NFL news, revising NFL overtime rules. According to Competition Committee Chairman Rich McKay, there's a lot of energy for changing NFL overtime rules, but it's unclear whether enough owners would agree on a specific proposal when they meet next week in Palm Beach, Florida for their annual meeting. 2 suggestions are being considered at the time. The Indianapolis Colts and Philadelphia Eagles have recommended that each team must have an overtime possession before proceeding to sudden death. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, the Tennessee Titans suggested a change that would require each team to have a forced possession unless the side with the first possession scores a touchdown and converts a successful two-point conversion. The competition committee did not support either suggestion, but McKay said that this was due to the club's thorough coverage of the nature of the discussion. McKay, on the other hand, warned reporters during a conference call about the difficulties of obtaining the required 24 votes from owners to amend a regulation. "I think my experience with this regulation tells me that 24 votes are not simple to get," McKay said. However, he does believe the figures clearly necessitate a study on whether the overtime laws need to be amended further. Next, Bucs unable to fill gap left by Godwin. After Pro Bowl wide receiver Chris Godwin sustained a season-ending knee injury against the New Orlean Saints in Week 15, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were forced to conclude the 2021 season without one of their most prized players. Following Godwin's injury, Bucs head coach Bruce Arians reached out to a familiar figure as a potential replacement, but Larry Fitzgerald, the future Hall of Famer, declined. Fitzgerald, who played under Arians with the Arizona Cardinals, informed his former head coach that he couldn't run 2 games right now if he tried, via Bob McManaman of the Arizona Republic, politely refusing the Buccaneers' interest in him. Godwin's absence was a major issue in Tampa Bay's early playoff departure, and he'll be a key component of their passing game again this season after earning a new 3-year contract deal this offseason. Up next, Kaepernick attempting to re-enter the league. Colin Kaepernick's quest for a return to the NFL will be continued this weekend in Ann Arbor, Michigan. The NFL Network's Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport reported via the Transaction Wire that Kaepernick would throw an exhibition at halftime of the University of Michigan spring game on Saturday at Michigan Stadium. Draft-eligible athletes will receive Kaepernick throws, and NFL team personnel in attendance will be allowed to observe the event, according to Pelissero. Kaepernick last played in the 2016 season, when he kneeled during the national anthem to protest social injustice and police brutality. He went unsigned the next summer and has been working hard to find a job in the league ever since. Kaepernick's services received renewed attention in the summer of 2020 when the NFL stated that it would welcome Kaepernick back, but left the choice to its member teams to sign him. So far, no team has expressed interest in him as a free agent, but his performance on Saturday may increase interest in him as a free agent. That being said, Saturday will not be Kaepernick's first public exercise since his release from the NFL. In 2019, the quarterback auditioned for interested clubs in Atlanta, throwing passes to NFL veterans in front of representatives from up to 8 NFL teams. Following the practice, Kaepernick did not sign with a team, but he stated that he's willing to play for any team that is interested. In his career, Kaepernick has completed 59.8% of his 1,692 throw attempts, resulting in 72 touchdowns and 30 interceptions. He's passed for over 12,000 yards in his 6-year career, but hasn't been with a team in over 5 years. That's a wrap for this video. See you in the next one.